Good evening. It's 8:04 p.m. on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. I'd just like to talk briefly about the United States, what's happening in the United States right now, the U.S. Constitution, and the military. Now, in 4 hours, apparently, there might also be a government shutdown. I'm sure there has been in my lifetime government shutdowns before. I'm struggling to remember the last one. And actually, I think I can remember one that happened, but at the time, I had absolutely no involvement in politics at all. I don't even think I was voting at that point. I was way above 18. I never started voting in the United States until I was in my mid-20s, ironically because a girlfriend at the time was so pissed off with me that I wasn't voting. And then I got into politics and watching what was happening in the world. I can think of a lot of consequences for not taking action tonight to keep the government open. Not only is it not helpful to a lot of people, the government staying open and continuing to not perform as it's not been performing, but it could be worse for the government to shut down. But I honestly have no real dog in the fight, so to speak, because I have no power to influence anything or anyone that's involved with politics right now. At most, I could be a supporter of some local politician versus what's happening on the state or nation scale. So, one thing I can tell you is I have sworn an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, and I take that seriously. I have also sworn some other oaths to perform duties for certain people and that are on a membership level. And then I have the things that I have to do to follow what my work entails. I work in emergency services, and there's things we can and can't do, and can and can't say, etc., to protect people or to get them the help they need. I have not yet applied myself to something like, let's say, like a police dispatcher. I've not yet done that. I know I could, and maybe I will in the future, but as of yet I have not. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens more. Anyway, back to the point. So I watched clips of the moral support rally that our current Secretary of Defense, although he wants to be, his pronoun is Secretary of War, I guess, and the President of the United States spoke at this. I've seen snippets of what they said. I've not seen the whole thing. I honestly not sure if I'm going to watch the whole thing. I think the snippets I saw were informative enough. But what I did see is what I expected to see. Silence, maybe some mild amusement at the right times and in the right ways from the upper command leadership that was there. I also noticed that the people that were speaking on stage seemed to be fishing for applause or compliments or something more than what they got. And what I did hear from what they said is concerning. I don't know if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't know what you're, or indifferent, what your slant on things is, but I just know this. All of those people are serving at the pleasure of the President of the United States. If those people were to resign, they would probably hand in a resignation letter that says something like, I serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Here's my resignation letter, or whatever. If the President of the United States came to me and said, Arabian, would you serve for me in whatever capacity? I would have to tell him no. I would not be able to do it. Because apparently there is a new qualification to serve under this president that I would not be able to do. I would not be able to swear the one thing he would ask. Because I have already sworn to something else larger than him. I don't know where you are in the world. I don't know what challenges you face. But I think we are all facing the same kind of challenge right now. And someone else commented on my last video, they are claiming that the med beds are real. Well, if that were true, why was the entire video AI? If the med bed is real and beyond a prototype, and there's many of them, as someone said, and I've heard this before too, I've heard other people comment that there exists a lot of technology that the public isn't privy to, and that's why I said it's probably available to Musk or Bezos or Trump or whatever. It's not available to us, at least not yet, and I have not seen proof that it is. I've heard a lot of people say there's stuff, but until I see it in practice, it is just talk. And this conversation you and I are having, or might have in the future, or if we work together or work to help ourselves and our community and people in general survive what's happening. And gosh, I would love to see people thrive through what's happening. We'll see. I would hope that we can at least agree that, this is a container of salt and it contains iodine. And like facts. What facts can we have? I've not seen a med bed. I've seen a prototype of a med bed. I've seen one being used years ago in Washington, D.C. Years ago. I want to say circa 2009, 2010. I saw one in the main hospital in Washington, D.C. But they're not available for everyone. Not yet. You guys that want to say otherwise, show me pictures. Show me proof. That isn't an AI science fiction generated video. Then we'll talk from there. Anyway, I think I'll speak tomorrow on what happens tonight, if that happens. Some things you might see in the future from this channel are ways to make things for emergencies. Hypothetically speaking, let's say the zombie apocalypse started. Or more realistically, tornado comes through your area, or a hurricane, or a flood, or a fracking-induced earthquake or something, and the power goes out for a couple days, what can you find cheaply and easily in your area in order to help keep you and your family safe? Practical things. So, not really going into forgiveness tonight, other than to say that I forgive myself for not being more informed. And I will continue to seek to know that I can understand, that I can then love, and then be of service. Have a good night.